What's up, everybody? I'm Coach Paige. Welcome to another episode of Everything is Contextual. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the assisted pull-up machine. Now, I'm going to give you all the benefits to why I actually really like it and in what instances it would help, and maybe also talk a little bit about why people will bash it or say it's not good for you or whatever they say, right? What are some of the things that people say that they don't think is so great about using an assisted pull-up machine? Well, I think some people might argue that, if you're using the assisted pull-up machine, you're never going to get better at pull-ups because you need the assistance. And again, I'm going to contest as to why I really don't think that's actually true. Other people think that machines sort of, confine your body and don't allow you to really adapt or move with gravity and there's no perturbation or reactive stabilization that can be happening. And those are just fancy ways of basically saying why like dumbbells and free weights oftentimes are a lot more challenging than using a machine, because a machine can sometimes isolate you into a certain particular body position and force the arm or leg into only one pathway or one angle of movement. And again, I think that can be beneficial depending on the individual. What are some other reasons why somebody might think that machines aren't really worth people's time or energy, or maybe also you have a gym where the machines just take up a lot of space and you don't have a lot of space. If you're not working with populations that are over the age of 55, maybe it is better for your gym space and your workout dojo or whatever you're doing, however you built it, to have the most versatility that you can. And that's where dumbbells and kettlebells, resistance bands, and pulley machines can be a lot better bang for your buck in terms of investment. Here's where I see the benefits of the assisted pull-up machine. Again, Number one, don't get me wrong, I don't have one at my facility, at my office where I see my clients. It would not be economical for our space. It would not be, it's a pretty big investment, and we just don't have the profit margin right there or the desire to spend that kind of money. But for those that have access to a Globo gym, or again, maybe a big CrossFit, big box gym that has a lot of pieces of equipment, or wherever you're at, the reason why I think it's beneficial is because I think, number one, you have a lot, some of these assisted machines have all the different handle angles you could think of: supinated, pronated, wide grip, narrow grip, scapular plane of motion. The options are endless. And if you know anything about your grip, you know that it directly correlates to your shoulder girdle. So the variations and the possibilities of training supinated, pronated, neutral, and all those different positions could be even helping make your muscle definition more mobile, in that you'll actually start using a lot more muscles in these different ranges of motion. But you might have somebody who, like myself, for instance, really needed to practice. I actually had to take the supinated based chin-ups out of my programming for quite some time as I was going through a lot of elbow issues myself. And so actually working on a wide grip, lat pull down, that angle in particular, and that hand grip was actually a part of my rehabilitation process and getting some things in my body to work more efficiently, right? So another thing that I think is fantastic is that, yes, if you want to get better at pull-ups, you definitely need to practice pull-ups. But if you literally can't do one full body weight right now with quality form without compromising or sacrificing efficiency, then you're going to have to build up to that. So you can do lat pull downs with a cable machine or resistance bands, but you could also practice feeling your body move through space with the assisted machine. And the other thing I really like about it, so what is this, number 4 now, is that this is more the sciencey, nerdy aspect, in that I can actually practice the eccentric phase as well as the concentric phase of the movement. So for instance, just to break that down for those of you who are not quite sure what I mean, when I am going through the pull-up, meaning I'm actually pulling my chin to bar, so to speak, over the bar, that is called the concentric phase. That means that gravity is actually pressing down on me. So as I'm trying to pull up vertically, there's a lot more effort required, more than just the fact that I'm pulling my body weight. It's my body weight against the gravity, the force of gravity. The eccentric phase is actually what's considered the loading phase and or lowering phase. So in this case, after I've completed the pull-up, as I'm actually coming down and out of the pull-up, as my head and shoulders are moving away from the bar or the thing that I'm holding on to, that is the eccentric phase. That is where gravity is now working with me. In fact, it may even feel like gravity is actually like pulling you back to the earth. I see a lot of people not do that portion of a lot of different lifts very well. So eccentric training is really vital for full muscle development, both the agonist, antagonist, and again, this eccentric, concentric. So talk about a holistic approach to movement and training and how that can impact your life and make you better at your sport or whatever it is you're trying to get better at. I really see that as being the advantage of being able to push the bar away from my head. So there are days where I like to really focus on that, and it's really great. It's really great for that, And if you have one of those machines that you can have your knees on or your feet, I mean, it's just really great for connecting into the rest of the sling systems. If you understand how the left foot is connected to the right shoulder, sometimes being able to position the foot, knee, and hip will help activate the entire sling system throughout the whole body. Again, another holistic approach to how we could look at what could be traditional meathead bodybuilding exercises as actually still functional, potentially foundational, and necessary. So that's it, you guys. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Everything is Contextual. Again, I'm Coach Paige, aka Ultimate Lady Badass. And if you have anything that you want me to talk about, rant on, dialogue, or show you the science on, please make sure you put some comments below or send me a direct message.